one of the things I think that a lot of people say, at least about adults or whatever, is that, well, I made it. Look at me. You see, I did this, and I've had this success, and they have it. If I can do it, then they can do it, or whatever. But what I think they're failing to notice in that moment is, yes, it's fantastic and it's wonderful and commendable that they achieved whatever goals that they set out, but are they considering the possibility that maybe, just maybe, there was something that occurred in their life? Maybe it was a teacher or a parent or a mentor or a situation or something, okay, which made it possible for them. I think really it's the knowledge or an understanding. I mean, if you believe you can do something, you can. If you don't believe you can do something, you don't even try, right? And there's so many people who are brought up, you know, to believe that they can't.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't. I suck. Look at my grades. I'm terrible.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm stupid. Look at that. I can't do this. I can't do that. This person said this mean thing about me, right? And so I don't know if they're considering the fact that maybe other people don't have this understanding that they can,
Yeah.
okay, or this belief.
Yeah.
And they also don't know how to let go, okay, of the I can't, okay? So if we want to even the playing field just a bit more, okay, you know, make it so that other people have this at least understanding, and they're brought up with this, hey, you know what, I don't have to get love from you, okay? I can actually, first off, I don't even feel the joy of love unless I'm loving.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever had an experience in your life where somebody loved you and you didn't love them back? You're like, oh, you have really good taste, but, you know, but there wasn't a, I love you too, right?
Yeah.
In that moment, who had the joy of love? I mean, you didn't, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else did.
Yeah.
So, you know, somebody could love you, but unless you're loving them too, you don't get that joy of love.
Yeah.
You know, I got that from Lester Levinson, who's one of the Sedona method inspirations, or the guys who created this method that I'm very into, and I think that was kind of radical when I got that insight, you know, that it occurred to me that I don't even get the joy of love unless I'm allowing that love to move through me.
Yeah.
So if you think about, I don't know, think about one thing that you have loved. Maybe your baby, maybe it was an animal, it could be anything. You just love that so much. And that thing that you loved, chances are that thing that you're loving that much, you were allowing it to be completely as it was, without any wanting of anything in return. Your love was unconditional in that moment anyway.
Yeah.
There may have been other times where you were wanting, and in those moments when you were wanting something from them, you don't have that joy as much, but when you were fully allowing something to be as it was. Now what if that you could take that love, okay, like if you could get to that place, okay, by stripping away the non-love, just, you know what I mean? I mean, I think that what we all are at our core is love, okay?
Yeah.
But if we strip away any non-love, okay, by letting it go and welcome, by with love, so we're using love to let go of non-lovelessness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lovelessness. But if we let go of our non-love for other things, okay, well, then let's just take people, okay? That one person that you loved unconditionally and how much joy you felt with that. Now multiply that love, that joy, by 7 billion people on the planet, right? How much, right? How much joy is that? And now all the animals and the earth itself and your emotions and everything, if you can learn to just come from that love, okay? The benefit is personal, because when you're loving, you get like this joy, right? Now, if you think of a time when you were not loving something, I'll guarantee you something was going on then, and you were resisting it. You were wanting it to be other than what it is. And I'm not saying in any way that we should not take the necessary actions to make things different if we have to. If a car is coming in the road and is about to hit me, I'm not going to stand there and go, well, I'm just going to accept this car coming to hit me as it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to get out of the road, right? I'll have to take some actions in order to, you know, I will do that, okay? Having said that, if I'm taking an action and my action is motivated by fear, okay, I am taking this action because I'm afraid of this will happen if I don't, okay? That motivation that's coming from fear, okay, is that's inspired by fear, requires that fear, to even have that fear present, which I'm using to motivate me, requires that I look back at that fearful situation. You see what I'm saying? I have to focus on that, okay, and look at that. And if I think that in life we experience a lot of what we give attention, energy, and focus. No guarantees, not 100% guarantee with any of this, okay? There's sometimes you've had a fear probably in your life where things turned out okay. And you realized, oh, I was fearing and I was wasting all that fear energy uselessly. I didn't have to be afraid. Oh, good, it came out fine.
Yeah.
But have you ever had a time also in your life where it was sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy? You know what I mean? You were afraid to see, now, see, I knew that would happen, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like when we're fearing something, it's almost like an affirmation. You know, I'm affirming this bad thing's going to happen. This bad thing is happening. I'm giving it more focus. And it's almost like a prayer, okay? Praying for what you do not want.
Yeah.
And because I've had all this background in hypnosis and, I don't know, NLP and all that, one of the things I got from the hypnosis training early on is that we need to focus on what we want instead of what we don't want, because your mind, okay, I can say to you, don't think of the color blue, don't think of the color blue, don't think of the color blue. Quick, what color are you thinking of? You could tell me green or red, okay, but in the beginning, to even understand or interpret that sentence, okay, you had to think of blue.
Yeah.
Right? And so, just, communicating with not only children and animals, it's important to state in the positive, we have to communicate this with ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay? So, yeah, it's just what we fear we bring near. We increase the probability of having more of it. Again, no guarantees, I'm not saying. But I think the goal for all of us is to be at peace with what is, regardless of what is. Really, because if I can be at this goal, okay, and I think the deepest part of us is okay with what is. I think there's an idea that I'd heard once. It's about it was a quote. I mean, they use the expression "meant to be," but I like the word "destined" better than "meant to be," because "meant to be" implies that it was wanted, right? But destined, okay. If something's destined. Okay, the fact that we're here talking to each other right now is destined.
Yeah.
Because, how do I know this? Because we're here talking to each other.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's how, the world turns sometimes.
But that's what is. That's proof that this is destined.
Yeah.
Including the guy you saw in the car accident or whatever, and that everything that's happening is destined to happen.
Yeah, everything happens.
Yeah. So if you look at it like, okay, well, this is obviously something that was destined or whatever, and if I used to like the expression "meant to be" until somebody said to me that it implies that it's wanted. So it's fine to say destined, okay? But it's if you try to look at something as an opportunity for growth, okay? So if I'm seeing like this thing that was destined to happen, okay, this is an opportunity for me to go more free.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there was this really great speaker that I liked by the name of Jacob Glass, and he used to say the problem is not that people are pushing your buttons. The problem is you have so many buttons. Okay? Something that would push your button wouldn't push mine, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? So it's, we all have our own different buttons.
Yeah.
But if I dissolve the button, let's suppose you're somebody I know and you push that button, okay? If I dissolve that button so that it no longer brings up a charge, I am more free. Does that make sense? I am more happy.
More like letting go of issues and problems and just accepting whatever it is that's happening, accepting it, and not getting angry or not.
Well, it depends. There's some things, not getting angry. There's some things that we can absolutely say, again, if a car is coming, I'm going to get out of the way, right? I think that AA has a really cool prayer. They say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And there are some things we can absolutely do something about. But can I change who won what political office? Probably not.
You can't change what's going to happen tomorrow.
No, and I also don't know what my next thought's going to be.
Yeah.
right?
Nobody does.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
You know, I can't control other people. You know, a lot of people are like, I'm going to try to change this. We live in a country where we have an election. I don't like the results of the election, so let's all just, all right, I probably should delete that part. But the point is that that when we are, you know, focusing on what we don't want, when we're fighting something, you're fighting fire with fire.
Yeah.
Right? And you're using the same energy that created a problem. It's like fighting hatred with hatred. I'm going to hate those haters.
Yeah, you're putting gas on the fire.
That's right. You're fueling it with propane.
Yeah,
exactly. You're making it
Pour
worse.
water on the fire. Make it
yes. You have to
stop.
Yes, so we have to approach this fire with a very different way than giving it more fire.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's like Einstein used to say that doing the same thing and expecting a different result, this is the definition of insanity, right?
Yeah.
But another thing he said is you can't solve a problem with the same level of thinking that created it.
Yeah.
So if the problem is hatred, okay, well, then you're not going to solve that problem of hatred with hating the haters.
Yeah.
Okay? We have to find a different way. Okay? And I think that's, I guess, part of what I want to share and hope other people share.
And going back to the love, you achieve more when not only you're loving the people who are around you, but yourself.
Right.
People who don't love themselves, obviously, you know, they don't get too far in life.
That's right, that's right. And it's like, that's something that when I was a kid, you were kind of told that if you're loving yourself, it's arrogant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you're selfish.
You're selfish, you're arrogant.
It's important, especially if you're a mom.
Oh, yeah, you're loving yourself? What are you, like?
You don't have time for that.
Oh, what is that, loving yourself? You know?
Taking care of yourself.
Yeah, well, it's like, how is the not loving working? Right? I mean, that's a very Dr. Phil question, but like, how's it working when I'm not loving? Is that effective? Yeah. How do we take care of things that we don't love?
Yeah.
Okay?
In order to take care of things, you need to take care of yourself, love yourself.
As we are.
Yeah.
Right. And then I'm not saying, I think that if I'm hating myself, and for any reason, actually what I'm doing is I'm actually cementing. Like we spoke earlier privately, but you mentioned something about a nail in a board or whatever. I mean, another metaphor I heard of a similar thing is it's like a scratch on a record. Now, these days people don't use records. We have digital media and stuff like that, but records. Back in the 70s and before, they had albums. Okay? And if the record got scratched, then it would never play the same way. Okay? But the record's created by driving in a groove or whatever, and those grooves can get very deep, okay? Those patterns. And you can let go of those patterns. Just like that. It's so amazing. It's so fast. You know, my own personal experience from this loving. I mean, I don't want to dive too much into the specifics because I don't want to point, out anybody, but let's just say I was in a situation where my back was up against a wall. Okay, I was feeling terrified. I was feeling furious. I was like Joe Pesci and Goodfellas and like, F yeah, I was like, I was livid, right? And then I started to learn this technique of just loving my heart, the feelings in my heart and giving them love for the first time. I'd never done it, right? And this was like 7 years ago. And what a shift. My life has changed so much. And it's just this one experience of learning to be gentle and loving with my own self and loving towards, my feelings and myself in general. I mean, that was actually another great insight. I had a coach, and she said to me, I think the problem is that you don't love yourself, right? And my inner rebel came out, and I just thought, I love myself plenty, and I thought I'd prove it to her, or at least to myself. I do love myself. So I wrote down 108 things that I love about me. And then I get to the Sedona Method retreat, because I go to a lot of these Sedona Method retreats. I just love them. And the guy who was teaching the retreat, his name is Hale Dwoskin. He's the author of the book, The Sedona Method. And I told him about my list of 108 things that I love about me. Like, look, see, I love myself. He said it was just like so, he's like, how about loving yourself for no reason at all? You see, if I have to have a reason to love myself or to love you, okay, and we only feel that joy of love when we're loving, but I need this reason, I need this condition
Yeah.
to love. Aren't I kind of depriving myself in a way of some of that love?
Yeah.
You know, Buddha said that not forgiving is like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard that quote. It's a great quote. Because if I'm not forgiving
Yeah.
somebody for something, I'm the one. They could have moved on. They've
You're not
forgotten
learning
about
to
it. They could be
accept
dead.
it.
Right. I'm not only not accepting it, but I'm feeling this
Yeah.
hatred, this anger, this whatever, because I haven't forgiven.
Letting
Right?
it go.
Yeah. And then they might have moved on, and they might not even care. But I think the same is true, that if I'm not loving you, okay, for any reason, let's suppose you did something horrible, okay, and you hated even me, okay, if I'm withholding my love from you because you hated me or something like that, and I'm not saying I need to hang out with you, okay. Marianne Williamson is an author and speaker, and she's like, I forgive you. Now give me back my keys. Right? It doesn't mean I have to live with you. It does not mean, forgiveness does not mean to condone.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't mean I'm like, this is good. It doesn't mean it's okay. A lot of people say it's okay when they're forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't think that's really accurate.
Yeah.
Okay, to say it's okay.
Yeah.
Okay? Maybe when they're saying it's okay, they're meaning I'm feeling okay or whatever. I don't know. But they're not saying that the behavior was okay.
Yeah.
Okay? So if I'm not forgiving somebody, I'm the one feeling the bitterness and the anger and the hatred, right? But the same is true if I'm not loving, right? For any reason at all. I'm withholding that joy that you only feel when you're loving something, right? I mean, can we think of anything more joyful than just loving something? I can't, I can't. So I'm withholding that joy from me because of that condition. And I could just love myself too. And I don't think it's self-centered. It's selfish. In fact, in a way it's selfish to not love ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if I'm withholding love from myself, some people say that if on the deepest level there's only one of us, okay? Then in a way you are me or whatever, but you might have the same qualities that I have. We just express it in different ways.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm explaining that well, but if I'm, I think, here's an example, a really good example. A couple of weeks ago, I was in a classroom volunteering, and I overheard this little boy talking to his friends about another kid in the classroom.
Yeah.
Okay, and he was saying, that kid is stupid, right? And I knew that kid well that he was talking about, and I was just like, oh, it hurt me, right? And I went and I cried and worked on letting go of my feelings. But as I was working on letting go, I applied this concept of maybe on the deepest level, we're all mirrors of each other. Because if there's something that I love about you, maybe I'm not even expressing that, but I have that ability to love, within myself, or
Yeah.
at least I'm aspiring towards that,
Yeah.
right? And if there's something that I really hate about you, well, maybe, just maybe I'm not expressing it the way he did, or doing it exactly the way he did, but I might have that within me too, right? So I looked at this situation as I was trying to let go, and I noticed, okay, in what way am I doing the exact same thing that kid just did? And I realized, I have said some very mean things about sordid politicians, right?
Yeah.
I have said horrible things. I never met them even,
Yeah.
right? And I'm an adult, so I'm supposed to be the one who
Said
is more
something.
mature, right? And I should know better. We teach
Yeah.
kindergartners to be nice, right?
Yeah.
But I was throwing out judgmental statements about whether it was Trump or Hillary or whatever, either of them. I was saying mean things, so I was doing the exact same thing that little kid did,
Yeah.
right? And then I also noticed that I, privately to an adult, knowing that this adult would never repeat this to the kid or anybody, right? I was actually calling that kid names myself,
Yeah.
saying he's mean, he's this, he's that, or whatever. But I was doing, in essence, the exact same thing that I was judging that little kid for.
And you didn't really know the situation
Right. I don't know why,
maybe that other kid did something really, really mean, or did something really stupid, and that's why he's
right. Well, yeah, I don't know, and I don't know what would inspire him to do that. I don't know all the details.
Sometimes it's good to also, like, they always say to not get in between those things and letting a child figure it out on their own.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I learned a lot from doing that, because when I noticed where I did the exact same thing, okay, it was so much more easy to be compassionate towards that kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And understanding, and even forgiving, and loving him as he was. And I saw that kid again just yesterday, and I remembered it was him, but I'm like, it didn't even bring up a charge.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it had brought up enough of a charge that I was crying for almost an hour. I'm not such a wuss, okay, that, that I would just cry all day or whatever, but, it stirred me. I think it brought up a childhood wound or something like that, I don't know, which I'm looking at as an opportunity, okay, to go more free. It's hot.
And it's funny how, with children, you don't really teach them to be bad. They do things on their own that are bad, and we have to teach them to be good. And adults already know that concept of right and wrong, yet not everyone, but a lot of people, they make mistakes and they do wrong without thinking or realizing how it's going to affect someone else, their family, their child, their sister, their brother, their mom, their dad. We're in a generation of let's just do without thinking. Let's just do it, or I don't really care how that person feels. I'm just going to say it. And if people just take a step back and breathe and, take a couple minutes to think and kind of not get in between or not say something mean or not jump into a situation, but jump into a situation where you're zen with everything around you, with yourself, with that person. So there is no negative energy going to that person's life.
Right. Well, I think Carl Jung said something similar to what you're talking about. I guess the moment between the stimulus and the response, that's where enlightenment is, I guess, is when you're taking that moment, okay, between responding. I mean, no, not responding is still responding, okay? But if I'm going to, yes, I guess we might do something, but if I take a moment to just be with how that, maybe if I'm feeling this stirred up an emotion or whatever, if I can just take a moment to be with that, okay, that is I guess the key difference, that being in that space between, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, between the stimulus and response, and taking a moment to process and to let go of the wanting to control, the wanting approval, the wanting, security, any of the wants that we have before we respond. If we could do that as best we can. Not always possible.
But the more you do it, the more you train your body, your mind, your soul, your heart. All these things come together, and then it's easier in the future. You're in a situation, a lot of people at the grocery store, right now it's Thanksgiving, the long lines, the craziness. Black Friday, it gets really crazy. But, you don't have to be that crazy. You
don't have to at all.
You can just look at your life and appreciate, the things you have.
How lucky are we that we can go grocery shopping?
Yeah, and have water.
And have water out of our tap.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, and people forget that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been really blessed in my life. Yeah. When I sneeze and somebody says, God bless you, I'm like, I know. I am. I really am. I am so blessed in so many ways.
And it's good.
I think part of the reason, though, that I'm blessed is I really bring awareness to how blessed I know I am. You know what I mean? It actually helps bring me more blessings, my awareness, my gratitude. It's from my gratitude, from the fact that I'm so grateful, okay? But I'm also grateful for little things, that I'm not a woman in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Or Saudi Arabia, or some countries where women are not
treated,
with not that we're like the most respectful country in the world towards women. There are other countries that are a little bit more than we are, but hey, at least I'm not in Afghanistan.
We have opportunities
that
they may not have.
Yeah, and I've got food in my fridge.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got gas in my car. I have a car.
Yeah.
Okay. I am so blessed, and this is something that we need to
And you
also.
have a family, family
Yeah.
you love, and they love you back. And some families get ripped away from each other for decisions they make, and little things like just appreciating, your mother, your father, and just all these things. I know me.
And then there's people though, but there are people who don't have families, right?
Yeah.
And that could be sometimes just an opportunity
Yeah.
to be at peace with being alone.
Yeah.
Because that can be such a beautiful thing, to just enjoy the hell out of you.
Being alone is
Okay.
good sometimes.
It is.
Yeah.
It can be great. They're both good.
Yeah.
Okay? But if I could be at peace, whether I have my family with me or not,
Yeah.
Happy, whether there's right in the world or wrong, that I think is the real goal. And
Like
is-
waking up and going to sleep knowing that you have no control, but you accept everything
yeah.
that's coming your way.
Well, in a way,
in
I don't
positive
think we really do have that much control. I
Yeah.
mean, I didn't know before I met you that I was going to meet you. I
Yeah.
don't know what my next thought is going to be. I don't control what what I'm going to think about. I think where the control is how, and it's not always in my control. Sometimes I don't even have the ability to control that. But how am I going to respond? Okay, I have maybe a little bit more control there. And this is where I think I might stir some people on topics like free will and stuff. But
It's okay.
I think that amount of control that we have might be just a bit less than a lot of people are thinking. I think that
Yeah.
maybe the best place to start with is how I'm responding. Can I control? I can't control what you think of me.
Yeah.
What I can do is perhaps at least notice how I think of me
Yeah.
and find a way to love me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you don't.
Yeah.
So I think we have to call it for now, but I want to say thank you so much for just sitting down and chatting with me, and this makes videos like this so much more fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed talking with you. Thank you very much, Rachel.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And you're very inspiring and positive, so it's a good thing to have in this world,
Thanks. I don't think I even try too much to be positive. I'm not trying to control that. I think
But
that
you
the
can
more
tell,
the more I let go of the negativity, the positivity just is. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, I'm not trying to think positive. I'm going to control what some people say you have 50,000 thoughts a day. I don't know about that. Okay.
That seems like a lot.
It seems a lot, yeah. But even if it's 10,000 or 5,000, I can't, how am I going to control I don't even know what my next thought is going to be. So
Yeah.
how do I control whether I'm thinking positive or negative? What I can do is let go as best I can of the negative thoughts. And the more I let go and the more I release, the more positivity just shines through. So thanks again.
Yeah.
Very fun talking with you.
Oh, thank you.
So thank you for taking the time to watch this. If you like this video and you would like to see more, please subscribe here and click like and share it if you like it, if you've gotten some benefit from it. And please be sure to check out my website to stay in touch at www.juliarotunno.com. Thank you.